Welcome back, everyone, to Pontos Fathom Hobbies. This is the first episode of our new series called Tabletop Miniature Makeovers. And we've got Conan by Monolith and expansion sets Kite on the board, a couple of miniature expansions as well. This was one of the very first miniature sets that I learned to paint on. So this will be real fun. We're taking all the miniatures out. We're going to go through them one by one, look at the original paint jobs. Some of them I painted pretty well, other ones not so well. And what we'll do is we'll kind of rate them by leave alone, touch up, or needs a repaint. And we're going to do miniature makeovers for these. So just flying over the board, you can see I've got the Conan main box set. I've got the Kite expansion set. I've also got Yoga of Yog, Crossbowmen, the Witch Hunters. And you can see that these are in various states of painted care. Let's say some of them I batch painted pretty quickly just to get them on the tabletop. Others are a little bit better. My painting skills aren't detailed to start with, so I tend to be kind of slapdash when it comes to it. So this is a good chance to revisit the painting, and hopefully you'll get inspired to take a look at your minis, and we can look at ways that you can just touch up a few things on them to make them pop, make them feel finished. Sometimes when we rush through some of these, getting the paints of a batch paint through, we're just looking to get them tabletop ready. Now is our chance to make over these miniatures and really take a look at upping our painting skills and learning some new tricks along the way. So join us for the ride. So right out of the gate, I thought I would just review all the minis one by one. We got Yoga of Yog here, looking pretty well painted. It's a pretty cool looking paint job on this guy. We've got the main heroes. Most of these I spent some good attention on, maybe Hydrathus or the Princess. We got our pirates. They're looking okay. We've also got our Picts. I think I did pretty well on the Picts. I learned to dry brush the white skulls, so okay with the Picts. We've got our Billet's Guardsmen, which I also think came out pretty well for my skill level. Going on to the Kite Guards. These guys look a little bit washed out. They might be candidates. They're kind of flat and monotone. And the Javelin Throwers. Javelin throwers have some nice wash work. They've got those nice yellow helmets and red cloaks. These honor guards also look a bit monotone. They need to pop a bit, so these might be candidates. We've got our witch hunters. Our witch hunters looking colorful, and I kind of like how these guys had come out originally. We've played a few games with these. Crossbowmen are seriously not detailed, but I think the color schemes are nice. I think our Bosonian bowmen, though, I think I spent a lot of details on these. These got the kind of Robin Hood vibe to them. Maybe some touches on the faces. And our villains, I can see some of the faces are washed out. These might have some touch-ups needed. The monsters looking pretty ominous. I've actually done a couple repaints of these monsters already, so we've already started our miniature makeover voyage. And then we've got our Bosonian guards with the colorful green, red, and blue palette there. Okay, so we've taken an initial look at the miniatures. Let's kind of deep dive into them one by one, and we'll split them up into maybe 3 categories, like fine as they are, need some minor touch-ups, or needs some work. I'm going to start out with these Picts. If you check out these Picts up close, I mean, these aren't bad for, first of all, I am not a great detail guy in general, but I think that this has got the spirit of these Picts. You've got some skull work done, some dry brushing on the axes. I think these guys, I could touch up this little band here on the arm. I think the Picts generally are in good shape. Put them over here. As our characters, sort of like, I'm going to pick out, for example, these Conan ones. Because I used washes, if you look at Conan or even Kestrel Kell, these guys kind of came out pretty good as well. I do have the gloss finish, but look, they've got highlights on their gold crowns. Their weapons look good. Their muscles kind of highlight. So I'm going to say that these are also in kind of good shape. Some examples of ones that need a little bit of work. If I go over to the Kite expansion, got these Kite guards. You can see they're kind of muddy. I do like the reds, but then there's no other colors here. Maybe this red sash. These guys are very barely painted. I think these guys need some highlights. I'm going to stick these over on this side. We got Bostonian Bowman. These guys look pretty good. I mean, I could do some minor touch-ups to these, but you can see their packs are painted. Their arrows have got feathers. A little sloppy around this pack, but they look pretty good. Let me put those in the middle for some touch-ups. Some wonky ones, though. I think that I did the crossbowmen. Again, they're not bad. If you look at them, they're not bad, but you kind of spin them around, and there's a wonkiness to the faces. I think that some of the gear can be highlighted. So I'll put these in the middle as well. Maybe can clean those up a bit. Go over to the villain side. Both of these have some gold-plated armor. I could do some minor touch-ups to the faces, get a wash back on these, maybe highlight some of these. So I'm going to put these in the middle as well. I'll take a look, again, from the Kitei expansion. These guardsmen, I also kind of feel like they're not really contrasted well. We do have the red here, but then there's not really any variations. A little bit of red in the cape. So I think these need to be brightened up a bit. Maybe they got muddied in the wash. These will also get the full touch-up. We can check out on the billets guards. Again, I think these kind of came up pretty well. Maybe just do some minor touch-ups on these as well. From our heroes, again, we've got Civitas looks awesome. I think Civitas looks pretty good. A hero from the Kitei set. Maybe a little touch-up on the face. I'll put him in the middle. Our wizard Hydrathis here, he's also looking a little wonky on the face. Let's give him some touch-ups. I think Billet came up pretty good. I think I'm going to leave Billet as she is. Painted also, I think I've got some touch-ups to do in these, and this base isn't even completed. So I'll put these animals on the cleanup pile. I'm quite happy with my Yoga of Yag. I think he came out pretty well. I spent a good deal of time on him, so I don't think there's much to update for that guy. We've got javelin throwers and pirates. Again, the pirates have got some different toned cloaks, but I think they're good enough. I might be able to do a little bit of touch-up on these pirates. This is kind of got a bat-like finish, but it's a little bit messy. Maybe some highlights and some tones in there. I'm going to put this in the cleanup pile. Again, this one kind of came out pretty good. I might want to touch up some of those gold foil, and the face isn't very clear. So I'm going to put this in the touch-up pile. I think this fellow came out great. He's sort of like got the pick. He's got the heart in his hand. He's going to be fine. But maybe I scope this here. I'm going to touch him up just a wee bit, just around the facial expressions. I want to clean him up just a bit. Middle row. And then finally, two of our other monsters. Again, I think these came out pretty good. This low contrast for this one, so I might want to highlight a bit. And I'll put these both in the middle. So we'll leave some as they are. We'll do some touch-ups on the middle row, and for the final row, we'll do some major makeovers on those. I'll get all the miniatures split out in some fast forward, and then we'll get into painting. So I think the major ones that I wanted to redo were from the Kitei expansion set. It seems like the Kitei guards and the honor guards have a kind of monotone look to them. They don't have quite enough contrast. For the rest of them, I think it's mostly around washes in the face or just popping some details on the cloaks. So I'm going to start out with adding some red to these honor guards. There's a couple of spots where sashes were missed or some shorts were missed. I think hitting those will be key. Also, brushing both the honor guard and the Kitei guards with some gold or silver color to highlight the armor details. I think that's something kind of got washed out with the wash. Sometimes when you put a wash down, it will actually mute the colors. You have to go back and dry brush across it so you can get those high points out. Another one that was really a quick one, and I remember when I painted these, I think I just put a base coat on the animals, so I think the the hyenas and the wolves, I think they were just a base coat. So I'm going to just put a wash across some areas of these. Also get the bases painted on those hyenas. I think that'll make them really pop. Yeah, I can already see in this first flyover, these are looking much better on the table. There's still some face touches up to do with the Kate guards, so we'll get to those once things dry. Right now we're going to pop into adding some washes onto the bowmen, the crossbowmen, a couple of our villains, and Hydrothus. I want to fix up around Hydrothus's cloak. It looked kind of wonky, so now you can see those washes are in place. The face is really popping now. When you put a wash in the face, you can really over darken it. So you have to be careful on those. So let's look at some of our touch-ups and some of our major repaints. Starting out here with our sorcerer, you can see I've got a little bit more high contrast in the face, and on the back face I whitened that up a bit. Just a small touch-up there. Also for the bowmen and the crossbowmen, I kind of went in and did some more contrast here for the faces. You can see those faces are a little bit more. These crossbowmen are still a bit messy. I think the bowmen kind of came out nice. I also added a bit of highlights and a wash on the backs to help them stand out. As far as these two villains, same. I used a little bit more contrast for their faces and touched up their armor. Looking nicer now. Next up, Hydrothus, I just did a touch-up again for the flames and for the face. His face was a little bit washed out, and the flame wasn't as pronounced, but now you can see his expression is much more clear. Next up, for these animals, I actually did just washes, but the teeth and the contrast comes out nice. And I got the bases set up for both of these. So these guys are much more detailed. If you go back and check out the version of them before, but we'll do a hero shot with the befores and after as well. Now the big changes I think come through with these Kate guards. A lot of changes here. I added the red pantaloons and also the highlights of gold on the armor. You can see, and also there's a gold highlight here. I highlighted all of the reds across everything. There's a piece of glue here. And you can also see the highlights on the shield and the gold buckles in the front piece. And I also did the same for these honor guards. Much more contrasted now. Highlight of the red here, here, and here, and also touched up the red cloak actually wasn't connected on the back. So if you check a few of these out, the red cloak really stands out now where the red cloak connects. I just painted the cloak in the back. You can see that. Also, I've added that silver metallic ornament across the base, which really breaks up the chest plate from the others. So let's do a quick flyby of these, and we'll do some detail shots, and we'll take you guys out. So as we fly out over these hero shots, let's just take a look at the work. These honor guards look a lot more contrasted with the red details added in that silver bands. The Kate guards also with the red pantaloons and the gold details really popping now. And I think you can see it from all of these hero shots. Just a little bit of painting can bring your minis from dull and drab to upgrading them in the miniature makeover. So hopefully you guys like this series. We'll do our second episode. Will probably be Cthulhu Wars or Cthulhu Death May Die. I will put a poll in our Patreon. So if you like what we're doing here, like and subscribe, ring the bell. You can check out our bookstore and links below to support the channel. Go back and watch all of our original paint through videos if you're interested in how we got here. And you can also check out the board game play for Conan by Monolith. We've got a half dozen seasons out there for you guys to watch if you're into Conan. Check out the Patreon. If you guys have miniatures that you've painted and you want to do a miniature makeover, leave a link in the comments below, and looking forward to chatting with you down there. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.